Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Awesome C.O.D.Y. As usual, I'm your host, Cody, and today we are continuing August 2021's theme of awesome streaming TV shows. So this week we're talking about Disney+. So Disney Plus has a ton of stuff. The few things that I would bring up, or am going to bring up, I'm not going to go into big detail about them because there's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go over everything either, but there was a lot of things that debuted this year, and obviously future stuff, past stuff. Past stuff like The Mandalorian obviously started in 2019, had a spectacular opening season, had a spectacular second season, has been renewed for a third season, which we will probably won't get till next year sometime because of the pandemic. But coming out of that also, you have spin-off shows. You have the Ahsoka Tano show. You have, I don't want to say the Obi-Wan Kenobi's not, or the Obi-Wan show is not a spin-off of Mandalorian, but that's also coming out. But the spin-offs from the Mandalorian themselves is you have the Book of Boba Fett, which I believe is supposed to be out next year, I think. I don't know if they've actually said or not. I don't know. But I know they have a tentative release window for December of this year. I'm not too sure. The Ahsoka Tano show, I don't even know if it's a limited series, but I don't know if they've actually narrowed down a time frame yet for that one, as well as season 3 of The Mandalorian itself. So we'll have to wait to see when we get those. But they have obviously greenlit The Mandalorian for that. The Book of Boba Fett obviously spun out of the events of the first season, as well as mostly the second season when Boba Fett made his glorious return back to the screens in front of us, all sizes and shapes, and came back and did a pretty damn good job of it, and pretty cool. So yeah, you'll have that one. Like I said, I don't know. They have a tentative release date for December. There was one other one. New Rangers of the New Republic was one of the other ones they were going to do, which everyone thought was going to have Gina Carano's character in it, but now that she's been fired from the company, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. So they'll probably have some other characters in there, but they're still planning that for development in next year. I think they're kind of like stagger them. Like I said, because you have the Book of Boba Fett this year. They just are about to start the third season production for The Mandalorian, which will be probably out next year sometime. And they're hot on the cusp of making or starting the Ahsoka show as well. And that's just the ones, like I said, if those three come out of The Mandalorian, you have, like I said, the Obi-Wan show. You have the what is this? Oh my God, what is it from Rogue Squadron? That's a movie. The one from Rogue One, Andor. What was his name? I can't remember what it's called. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Why can't I think of what that one's called? Hold on, it's going to be on here somewhere. Well, Mandalorian was up top, though. Let's do a find real quick. That is that one. Oh, yeah, in the animated ones, again, not spin-offs, but Clone Wars has a spin-off one called The Bad Batch. Then you have Star Wars Visions, which is an anime interpretation of non-canon stories within the galaxy far, far away. Not that one. Hold on, I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, it's called Andor. I was right. Yeah. So like the book of Boba Fett. There's the Acolyte, which is another one. Then you have right? No, not the Acolyte. Is that the? Yeah, that's the other one. One of the other ones. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka. Lando's listed here, but I don't know if that's going very far. Anyways, so there's a lot of different ones out there, and it's just they're obviously doing a pretty good job with them, and so on and so forth. And then that's just their Star Wars stuff. Like I said, that's just the ones that are on there. Newer ones, the ones that premiered this year, for example, you have WandaVision that premiered in January. You have Falcon Winter Soldier premiered in March. You had Loki that premiered in June. You have Hawkeye, which will be out November of this year, which is another. It's a miniseries, I believe, only a miniseries at this point, but it is have a direct tie-in to the Black Widow movie. If you haven't seen that, that's a spoiler, but not really a big one, because I'm not going to tell you where it's at or how it's connected. You have. Obviously, with I could talk for hours about what happened in Falcon Winter Soldier, what happened in WandaVision, what happened in Loki, and the impact those have in the future projects coming out. But we don't really know just yet, but we have some ideas. So there's a lot those ones. I mean, Loki was phenomenal. Falcon Winter Soldier was really good. Could have been better, but I know they had to cut some things because of the whole pandemic thing. WandaVision, tremendously done. I think it was one of the best things they've done, and it's just a wackadoodle show in general, but had a lot of cool stuff in it. Then you have, like I said, all the Star Wars stuff is just really good. It's another list of just nonsense. Not nonsense, but just a giant list of them there. They debuted the What If show in August, just this August, the 11th, so last Wednesday, as recording of this. And then the date this debuts is going to actually be the Space Lord T'Challa episode, which is where the last MCU project that Chadwick Boseman worked on before he passed away, and it's going to be pretty cool too, I believe. The first episode is phenomenal, so much fun, and set up and has a lot of cool shit going on it. And it, again, we may talk about this tomorrow on the main podcast with the fellas, but there's a lot of cool things, and there's really cool mini series you can read if you want to have like a what if type thing, because there's a lot of what if books out there. But one of my favorites is a 6-issue. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. But it's kind of like a what if story, but there it is, bullet points. So the miniseries is called Bullet Points. It is 5 issues. My bad. Sorry, my bad. It is the whole premise is what would change, like, again, what if something happened, and this one happens to be bullet points. So a bullet that is detrimental to a certain thing that happens with the canon or the history of Marvel, and it changes the path that certain characters take and in how they become who they are. So there's a lot of cool ones. It's just a fun story to go through. Your characters are Steve Rogers, Peter Parker, Reed Richards, and Spider-Man. I should say, sorry, I said Spider. So your characters are Steve Rogers, Peter Parker, Reed Richards, and Bruce Banner, as well as a bunch of other characters thrown in there. Johnny Storm's in there, of course. Silver Surfer, Galactus, Ben Grimm, Susan Storm. You have all the kind of different all the different characters surrounding them. So yeah, if you want to check that one out, it was released in 19. It was released in 2006. Like I said, 5 issues. It was part of the Marvel Knights, I believe, imprint, which is more of like a outside continuity type thing. But yeah, you should check that out if you like What If, or if you want to just check out an alternate history with the whole variants thing with Loki going on and all that fun stuff. So yeah, check that out. Like I said, it's pretty cool. It's written by J. Michael Straczynski, illustrated by Tommy Lee Edwards, and lettered by John Workman. So check it out. Like I said, it's 5 issues. I'm pretty sure you can find it digitally anywhere right now. But also maybe find in the trade. I know there's a trade paperback they released not too long ago. That, or actually, I don't even know how long ago that would have been. That's a great question. Anyhow, so yeah, check that out if you want more of that sort of stuff, the What If stuff. Or if you haven't checked out What If, I highly recommend you check out What If, because it's pretty phenomenal and you should definitely check it out. So yeah, those ones, and that's just, again, those are the ones that I've seen. There's a lot of other cool Disney stuff on the Disney Plus, obviously. Movie wise, there's a fuck ton of things you can watch on there. And that includes all the current, or the run of movies within the Star Wars realms and in the Marvel universe on there. Cartoon wise, has all the classic, has a bunch of fucking classic Disney movies on there. Original movies, you have a couple of different like remakes. You have the Lady and the Tramp one they did. They've done well, actually, I guess that's the only real live action remake or adaptation that they made for the network. But you can watch Mulan on there, which is the live action adaptation of the cartoon. Mulan is on there. All the Pixar stuff is on there, like Luca and Soul, which both released directly onto the network. Both awesome movies. You have what was the other one that was really good on there too? Hamilton. I was trying to think of what it was. Hamilton's on there. That one's really good. It's a whopping 2 hours and 40 something minutes, but it's pretty awesome. And then obviously, like I said, you had a lot of their stuff that's that's on there. Documentaries, or as there's a bunch on there because they have the National Geographic stuff, but of the original content made to kind of like Disney centric is you have the Imagineer show. And plus I forgot to mention Disney Plus also has like all the Simpsons stuff on there too. So if you're a Simpsons fan or you never really got into it and you wanted to check it out because you've seen smatterings of it, all of the Simpsons stuff is on there, all the seasons, and I believe the movies on there and all the specials. They even have a curated section of the Haunted Treehouse stuff, which is pretty cool. But what I was trying to say is they have like these they're documentaries, but they're like exploring the world of Disney. So they have the Imagineer show, they have the Behind the Attraction show, which they show you the history of famous rides like the Haunted Mansion and the Jungle Cruise. And Jungle Cruise one's actually produced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's actually in it, which is pretty cool. So they give you a lot of details I didn't even know about it. So that's pretty cool. You can watch those. There's a lot of stuff I haven't watched on there yet. Upcoming wise, there's just a ton of stuff they're gonna do. Like they're doing the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that's supposed to be out this, or actually I think that got pushed back to next year. I think it did, but there is gonna be a Muppets Haunted Mansion special that comes out later this year. Probably, I don't know, it'll be October, but we'll see where it's at. And I'm not going to go to the inhuman amount of content they have from existing properties. I've mentioned Disney properties, Marvel properties, Star Wars properties, Pixar, all the Simpsons stuff, all the National Geographic stuff. And that's just the United States. If you're outside the country, you have access to some of the other things too. And there's more things coming out, like the fact they're adding a bunch of the Sony stuff from like the Marvel Sony stuff, including Spider-Man movies, that aren't currently on there, but a lot of the other properties, because they're bolstering, like Venom, for example, will be available through that. Venom 2 eventually will be through there. Morbius, whatever. I mean, all the other things are. I mean, they have a ton of other stuff going on there. So yeah, it's just. I mean, just a bunch of stuff. But and I haven't watched any of it, but I heard Big Shots with John Stamos is really good. There's the Mighty Ducks reboot dish thing, or sequel. I'm not even too sure what technically. I think it's a sequel because it has what's his balls in it. So there's that too. I haven't watched Tuner Hooch because I think it looks terrible, and I don't like that Josh Drake kid at all, and pretty much anything I've ever seen him in. So I've never actually watched Josh Drake or Drake Josh or whatever that show's called, but I don't like him as an actor. That's the few things I've seen him in, so I don't think that's going to be a very good choice. Plus, he's taking over for Tom Hanks. Like, it's not the guy I would think you would want to fill the shoes of Tom Hanks, but who am I to tell you that you casted it wrong, except for the person who's not watching it. So, and it could be amazing, but I haven't heard anything about it, so that's not good or bad. I just haven't even heard him talk about it, and I don't like that guy, so I'm probably never going to check it out unless the page makes me watch it. So there you go. But there's a lot of other stuff on there. I have not checked out the Monsters at Work show yet, which debuted in July, which is ongoing. Has it might be. I don't know how many episodes there are. It might be like, this says 11, but I don't think that's right because they're not done with the season yet. I'm pretty sure because it's ongoing, so I don't think it's over yet. But who knows? I don't know what the list is on that one. But that show looks pretty funny, and that's a sequel to the Monsters Inc. Movies, which is pretty cool. You have what's another one they just started too? I said the Mighty Ducks. I said Big Shot, Turner Hooch. There's a lot of other stuff. There's Disney Plus has many hours of content to watch and enjoy, and it's just growing even more so. And like I said, the newest Premier Access movie you have access to on there that was eventually through the Premier Access, the paid. So they have the paid subscription and you have the paid renting type thing of movies that released in theaters. Is Raya and The Last Dragon recently, like in the last month or so, has come back to the network as part of the service. Black Widow, I believe, will be hitting the streaming without Premier Access as of October something or other. And then Jungle Cruise probably be later this year. I have not seen Jungle Cruise yet. I do want to see it, but timing and pandemic and all. But anyways, that's it for this week's episode of The Awesome with Cody. I have been your host, Cody. We have been talking about Disney Plus, which is awesome streaming television. And that's it for this week. And, oh, by the way, if you were wondering, it's classified as a over-the-top streaming or media service, which basically means it's over-the-top, bypassing cable and broadcast and satellite television platforms. What a weird denotion for that, and I never thought you would call it that. You thought you would just call it a streaming service because that's what it is, but apparently it's an OTT video streaming platform. So that's cool. Whatever. A little thing I learned when I was doing the research for this, so enjoy yourselves. And it has a ton of users, by the way, and it has one of the best apps. Still has some struggle points, and I would get into that more. I should have gotten into more about Apple TVs, Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus, and Amazon's, because they're all kind of not great. Nobody has a really solid platform because it's all kind of muddled, and some like HBO Max, which I'll be talking about next week, is trash. And I'll get maybe I'll talk about that. I don't know. I should have talked about that on all these, but I didn't. But anyways, check it out next week. I talk about HBO Max for the wrapping up of this month's episodes of awesome streaming television show thingies on certain channels or whatever I called this. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, I've been Cody. I've been your host, and like I always say at the end of these, let's be awesome.